Hey everyone, Sam from United People's TV, here with the reaction to Louis van Gaal's press conference ahead of Leicester on Saturday night. He's been addressing the press at Carrington, usual injury updates, been talking about Vardy, comparing him to Bergkamp, I know. Van Gaal and Wilson obviously went out on loan yesterday, so we'll get through it all. First up, injury news. Ander Herrera and Phil Jones are both still ruled out of the Leicester game. Phil Jones, I'm not really fussed about too much because it's Phil Jones. It's happened again. He comes back, plays well, gets injured, repeat cycle forever. Chris Smalling was going through that cycle for a long time until the start of the season and he turned it around. Is Phil Jones going to do the same? Let me know in the comments below what you think we should be doing with Jones now, because it feels like we're barking up a tree. I really like Jones. I do. I genuinely do. He's a bit of a hothead in terms of he's always at 100%. He always goes in top gear. And that's why he gets so many of these injuries. The last one was this thrombosis. I don't even know what this current injury is. I think he twisted his ankle against Watford. Who knows? As for Ander Herrera, that's a big blow for me. Wayne Rooney is... Let's not even talk about Wayne Rooney anymore. He was the exact same against PSV. And Ander Herrera being out means that Rooney's going to start there in the number 10 role again. And right now, he doesn't deserve to be starting. End of. There's no discussion about it. He's captain, he should be doing more. Roy Keane, finally, somebody came out and rightly said, Rooney, you're a captain, your responsibility is much higher than the average player. You need to lead by example. And that's why I keep criticising Rooney so badly, is for the fact that he is captain. And yes, we could have Herrera out of form, Martial out of form, Jones, Rojo, it doesn't matter. If you're the captain of a football team, you have to expect higher praise when you get it done right and intense criticism when you get it wrong. And Rooney has got it wrong all season. He seems to be saying the right things to the players behind the scenes, but as far as fans are concerned, his performances, they're just not good enough. But he's still getting played 90 minutes week in, week out. Something's got to change, but I think we're sort of banging our heads against a brick wall here because Van Gaal disagrees. And if Van Gaal disagrees, then there's nothing you can do about it. On to another striker. James Wilson has joined Brighton and Hove Albion on loan, and I think this is a loan move that is 3 months too late. Why we've waited this long to send Wilson out on loan is beyond me. Van Gaal has clearly not liked him. I don't know what he doesn't like about James Wilson. We don't know. We don't know what goes on in training. But he's a cracking little player, 19, he's got his whole career ahead of him, and I think Brighton loan's actually a really good loan. You look at Adnan Januzaj's loan to Borussia Dortmund, always risky, and you see Januzaj he's on the bench most of the time, getting 20-minute cameos here and there. It's not good enough. It's not what you want from a loan spell. It happened to Angelo Henriquez when he went to Wigan a couple of years ago as well. Just didn't play. I don't think that's going to be the case for Wilson at Brighton. Second in the Championship. I think they're currently level on points with first, and they're chasing promotion, and Wilson can now be part of that. So I do like that. And the good point out of all of this is that we can recall James Wilson whenever we want. So it's a win-win situation. So why didn't that happen earlier? To me, it screams of a lack of planning, or I don't know if Van Gaal even knew what he wanted to do with Wilson. But it's good for Wilson and it's good for United. Now Wilson's going to get that experience, which for a player his age is absolutely crucial. Moving on to the game of the weekend. Van Gaal's been talking about man of the moment. Unfortunately, Jamie Vardy scored 10. He's scored in the last 10 consecutive games. Coming into this one, if he scores against United, he's beaten Louis van Gaal record. Van Gaal called him great, said he deserves to be called a great player. I think that's fair, because anybody who can score in 10 consecutive Premier League games isn't a flash in the pan. I personally think he's going to have one of his toughest games. He's up against a defence which has conceded, 9 goals in the Premier League this year. Chris Smalling's on another level, and then if everything fails, we've got David De Gea in goal. Now, last time we went to Leicester, I'm not forgetting this, Jamie Vardy, his dive from a little Raphael nudge changed the game. We were 3-1 up, that penalty went in, and then all of a sudden we lost 5-3. And he scored another one, a late breakaway goal. It's going to be a tough game at the weekend, especially with Vardy and Mahrez in such good form. But United's defence is our strong point at the moment. And we are going up against the best attacking team in the Premier League, but they're coming up against the hardest defence. So it could be a war of attrition. I've said this in the preview. If you want to go have a look at our preview that we did in association with Bet Victor, have a look at that. We'll give you a little link to that here. So click that. or watch this preview the whole way through, probably the best idea. Moving on to Van Gaal again. He said he's happy with the chance creation, but he wants the finishing to be improved. Now, as much as I'm going to say that United are playing boring right now, the criticism is absolutely fair. Fingers have to be pointed towards our finishers, and I've been saying this for a few weeks. If Jesse Lingard takes his chance in the 72nd minute against PSV, changes the game. If we had people who were scoring their chances earlier on, Martial had a couple good saves. They were slightly more difficult chances, but if we're not creating that many chances, but the chances we are creating, our finishing isn't good enough. So, yes, we do need to create more chances, but the strikers have got to take it upon themselves to score the chances that they get. I think that's an absolutely fair point by Van Gaal. The blame doesn't just lie in the lack of creation. It lies in the fact that when we do create those chances, we're just not clinical enough at the moment. And that's a problem that starts all the way back in the defence to the midfield. Have got their problems in the chance creation, but the strikers themselves have also got the problem in scoring the chances that eventually are created. Obviously, Van Gaal points towards United's defence as a strength right now. I think that kind of goes without saying. United right now are a hard to beat team. That's it really. That's our strength right now. We're basing ourselves on making sure that we don't concede, but we're just not doing enough going forward. And for me, it all boils down to one thing: is Van Gaal's philosophy is built on balance. Right now, our defence is so good that it's uber conservatism is affecting our attack. And I feel like we need to get the balance away from just focusing purely on keeping that clean sheet to thinking we probably need to score some goals to win this game. Once we find that balance between the two, which we don't have right now, then we should start getting the 3-0s away to Everton. You know, we saw at the start of the season, we can play wicked football with the players we've got, keep a clean sheet and score some goals. It's about finding that balance. At the moment, we're just not finding it. It's a strange situation for United fans right now. We've got Louis van Gaal, who is so strict on the defence that it seems to be stifling our attack. But if we beat Leicester, we go top of the Premier League. So, as fans, do we have any right to complain about that? What's more important to us? Is it the pure entertainment value, or is it the fact that we're top of the league? Let me know in the comments below. Obviously, subscribe if you're new. Give a like in this video, that always helps. And we'll see you after the game on Saturday. Gone for one matter because I think somewhere along the line, whether it be Martial, Memphis, I think we're going to get a penalty. And Matters on our penalties right now.